皆さんこんにちは and welcome to Shogo's podcast. So today everyone, I like to talk a little bit about the reasons why I love no theater so much. So recently we've been posting a few videos of no theater. There was actually a part 1 and part 2 of the video where we went to Kyoto Samurai Experience, the facility to actually this time for a dinner show where we get to watch a private no performance by my sensei who teaches me no theater, Yamada Sensei. It was an amazing experience for us, and we were really happy to see all the comments and everyone saying that they really enjoyed watching the video. That was great. And I was so flattered. I was really happy that so many people are interested in no theater. Yeah, so I thought it'd be a great occasion for me to talk a little bit about the reasons why I started training in no theater in the first place and why I still continue training, because the singing I have been training for I think almost 4 years now probably, and the dancing I think maybe almost about an year. The dancing for a long time I had not trained because it does I need to pay extra for to learn how to dance. So I only was able to pay for just the singing in the beginning. But you do say, by the way, it takes 7 years to master the singing, and it takes 3 years to master the dancing. So the dancing does we do say in the no theater world that the dancing is slightly easier than the singing, because singing is actually the most important part of no theater. But anyways, let's put that aside, and I'd like to talk about the few things. Basically, mainly there are 3 things, and there's some small other things too I might add later on, but there's mainly 3 things, the reasons why I love no theater so much. And before I start, today is I'm recording this on Friday, but today is a holiday in Japan, and my first daughter is not at kindergarten, she's downstairs, so you might be hearing her. But if you hear small children screaming, that's my daughters, so please don't worry so much. Okay, so the first reason why I love no theater so much is because by studying no theater, by watching no theater, you can understand what the samurai found beautiful in the past. What they thought was beautiful, you can understand by enjoying no theater, by training in it, by enjoying it. And this is because no theater, for a very long time, it was originally a ritual, by the way, but it eventually evolved during the Muromachi period by the Ashikaga shogun, who built the Kinkakuji, which is the Golden Pavilion. So that was the Ashikaga Yoshimitsu, I think. Ashikaga Yoshimitsu really loved no theater, and from there, no theater changed into a culture for the warlords, for samurai, to enjoy. So, like for example, from there, Oda Nobunaga, Toyotomi Hideyoshi, Tokugawa Ieyasu really all loved no theater, and from there, no theater basically evolved into a entertainment for the nobles, for powerful samurai, from a ritual. Of course, it still has the colors of rituals in it, but it changed dramatically once it started to be loved by samurai because they needed to please the samurai warlords, right? Yeah. So, for example, the movements actually involve movements of martial arts, of Mudo martial arts, and of course, the stories are a lot based on samurai. It's based on war, about fighting, which is, of course, the samurai deeply related to, and so on and so forth. So, by watching no theater and enjoying it, you can basically understand what Oda Nobunaga enjoyed watching, or Toyotomi Hideyoshi enjoyed watching, and so on and so forth. So, unlike, for example, kabuki or other stage arts like Japanese traditional dance, like Nihonbyo, those were for the commoners. Those were for the townspeople. Yeah. But on the flip side of that, again, no theater, it was for the nobles, for the high upper rank people. So by watching it, you can deepen your understanding towards what they liked. Yeah, especially because I am definitely a big fan of samurai culture and history. I really wanted to understand what they thought was beautiful, their values towards beauty itself. And you can really understand that through no theater. So that's one thing. That's the first thing I really loved. And secondly, I explained in the video where we went to the experience to watch no theater, but no theater is really deeply connected to Japanese religions. So again, like the first story that my sensei danced to in the video was Yashima, but that story is actually about the ghost of Yoshitsune, and the ghost actually being sent to heaven by a monk. And the second story is also about the story of a snowflake, which is also sent to heaven after being helped by a monk. The stories are a lot of the stories are about ghosts or gods, And there's always priests, Shinto priests, monks that appear in the story, and they help the souls to go to heaven, exactly. Relieving their soul and sending them to heaven kind of story is really, really often shown in no theater. So by understanding the storylines, you can understand how deeply Japanese people were linked to religions, Buddhism, Shintoism at that time, and their values towards it. So you can understand like what kind of conversations they have, communication they have, what kind of what should I say, change in feelings, and change in thought they have that would save them to go to heaven. And so this isn't about what is like actually true or not. That you can simply understand the values, because I don't believe in any religions myself, but still it's really interesting for me to study about it, right? And the final thing that I really love about no theater is that it cherishes the aesthetics of subtraction. So aesthetics of subtraction, I talked a little bit about this when I talked about kado, flower arrangements. But basically, unlike kabuki, where they uses a lot of stage tools and have a lot of makeup and very gorgeous kimono and such, no theater goes the other way. So it tries to use as the least amount of stage tools as possible. They actually put a mask on so they don't show their faces, right? Trying to express someone's feelings, by acting in a character without showing your face is really difficult, right? Yeah. And also, the dances are not that going all over the place and jumping up and down and stuff like that, right? Yeah. Compared to kabuki, for example. So this is another part that I really love as well. I just simply am definitely a big fan of the aesthetics of subtraction. I just love, because I talked about this in a different podcast a few days back, I believe. But the biggest lesson that I was taught through training in Japanese traditional culture is that it's more important to let go. Training is always about letting go and subtracting, basically, and not adding and gaining more power and stuff like that. Of course, you need experience, but in the end, the experience is for you to let go and relax and just be yourself, and then you can do the best, actually. Yeah. So no theater as a stage performance basically expresses that by using the least amount of stage tools and restricting expressions, by putting on masks and such. So I really, really feel that, especially because no theater has the longest history as Japanese traditional culture, it's like the older brother of all of the other traditional cultures, and I just really love how all the essence, the important teachings of Japanese traditional culture are basically included in no theater. And just by studying it, you can understand everything. All the important things that the samurai wanted to carry on to the next generation. You can understand through no theater. So that's definitely the third thing that I really love about no theater too. And if I can quickly add the fourth reason why I love no theater, this is something really, really simple. I just love singing. I love singing. I used to be a part of the chorus club when I was in high school, so I just love singing. I also love dancing. I'm the kind of person who just really loves being on stage. You might not have noticed yet, maybe. Yeah, you might not notice, but I'm the kind of person who likes being on stage. I'm talking in front of people. Yeah, I usually stay quiet, right? So you might have not noticed, but yeah. So, anyways, I just love being on stage. I love singing. I love dancing, and expressing myself through using my whole body, my voice. And like, what else is there in Japanese traditional culture that can do that? I mean, there might be kabuki, but kabuki, again, from my point of view, I really want to study more about the samurai culture, so that connected me to no theater. I mean, Japanese traditional dancing does exist, but it hardly has it as singing, right? Any other singing will be like maybe the minyo that Tomoko trains in, like the folk songs singing. But that doesn't have such a, what should I say, a deep culture like relationships with religions or samurai culture or stuff like that, right? So I was like, yeah, no theater is definitely the best for me. Yeah, and I definitely have been enjoying it. Otherwise, I would have been able to continue it for 4 years. Yeah, fifth year probably next year, so I definitely have been enjoying it a lot. And although, again, a lot of people don't understand me, by the way, because no theater is a really difficult culture to understand. If you ever watched no theater before, like through my videos, it is really difficult. Like, you don't understand anything what they're doing, what they're saying, And if you don't know anything about it, you just sit there and just like, okay, am I supposed to clap? Or, and that's the difficult part, especially because Japanese people lack, should I say, English skills. They're not capable of explaining what the storylines are about. And once you actually understand what it's about and what they're doing and all the meanings are amplified in the stories and the movements and the singing, it's actually really, really fun, to learn about it because it's so old and it has so much culture and history in it. Not so many, well, hardly anyone is capable of doing it. So I really want to get better in no theater. There is actually a license, well, kind of like a license you can get from your instructor as a professional no actor. And once you actually get that, you will be allowed to perform anywhere you like on your own, and also monetize that, by the way. You'll get permission from the what should I say, the headmaster group, what's their word, organization of my Duha style kind of thing, you'll get permission. Yeah. And basically that, my sensei was saying, usually takes about 7 to 10 years to obtain, that license. So I'm hoping to get that before I turn, well, maybe in my early 30s, I might be able to get it. Yeah. And once I do actually get it, I'll definitely be making much, many more content about no theater. And it's going to be great if I'm able to do that in the future. So yeah, I hope you can look forward to that. And thank you so much for listening to today's podcast too. So then everyone, as I always say, the ultimate goal of my life is to make all Japan lovers' dreams come true. So I know that there's a lot of people studying Japanese, willing to come to Japan to travel, study and work, and even train in our traditional culture and such. Maybe no theater, right? However, I'm very afraid that Japan will not be able to make everyone's dreams come true in the future because we're facing a lot of social problems. We are losing our traditional culture, and the younger generations who are supposed to be carrying on the good things about Japan are dying because of all the social issues being shoved against them. So I really want to dedicate my life to try to make Japan a better place. I want to try to solve the social problems, preserve and evolve traditional culture, and also help out the younger generations so they can have a brighter future. Yep. And to do that, the nearest goal that I have right now, I almost said my first goal, the nearest goal that I have right now is to achieve 2 million subscribers by January 2023 on my main channel. So your likes and comments will help boost my videos to new viewers. I've never seen my videos before, so it'd be great if you can help me out. And ever since we achieved 1 million subscribers, we have been doing, growing really, really rapidly from there again. But recently we've been slowing down gradually. So yeah, we'll try to do our best again to make even more exciting content and such. We're still struggling a little bit to get used to our new schedule and cooperating with all 4 of us together now. We used to be a car that had 3 tires, right? Harumi, Tomoko, and I. But now we have 4 tires, so it's completely different. What should I say? A car we're riding right now and driving. So we're still still taking some time to get used to the handling, but we will very soon be completely ready to do anything and challenge new things. So I hope we can look forward to that. All right, everyone, thank you so much. And it'd be great if you can leave me comments too. I'll always read all of the comments on my podcast channel. So thank you so much, guys. Bye-bye.